Greetings and salutations, friends. Welcome to another stream. Character NPC, your host, getting ready to continue with this adventure. I'm just kind of thinking about looking over some of the stuff that we have going on. We left off with talking about how I have a workflow to the game day. And we were down in the actions for the day, doing all the stuff. And we had gotten basically a quest, you might say, from a priest at the Church of St. Cuthbert of the Cudgel. Go to a town, get their vessel that they use to make holy water out of, it's an improved one, and deliver it back to town. It's a good ways away. Could be dangerous. We're probably all going to die. He sent us to meet a guy named Jorbis Bicklemole the Gnome in the Cock Cudgel, and we met up with him in the tropical storm weather. And so, dear friends, we begin again. The party is in Elfwine, in the inn there, the local inn. Oh, the Cock and Cudgel. This is the inn sign. And when we left off, all 6 of us in the party, the fighter, the ranger, 2 clerics, a magic user, and now a gnome illusionist thief, the only non-human, are all sitting at this table discussing the idea of going to Aratar to collect the church's new holy water receptacle. So starting here, let's talk a little bit about creating holy water, what that means, and why this quest is important. And then we'll probably have to decide on a weight. I think that's going to be the next most important question. But one thing at a time. Let's look at how do you actually create holy water. So, essentially, only clerics, druids can't prepare holy water. It offers information about unholy water as well, evil clerics, but mainly we're talking about. Good. As a 3rd level spell is involved, it requires a cleric of not less than 5th level experience to manage to create such fluid. The process is as follows. A specially blessed, cursed, if you're doing the opposite and you're evil, specially blessed basin of fine workmanship and precious metal, copper, silver, electrum, gold, or platinum, must be fashioned for the cleric. The vessel must be engraved with the holy symbol of the cleric's deity or deities, and it must be within a special repository of finely crafted and carefully worked rare wood, with a base, pedestal, chest-like holder, and lid, the whole being known as a font. The basin is placed within the font, so you put this receptacle in the font, and the cleric then casts the following spells in succession, while robed in formal vestments appropriate to his or her religious persuasion. Probably using cudgels in this case. Create water, purify food and drink, bless, or we're not doing reverses, chant for a full turn, and prayer. The amount of water created depends upon the metal of the receptacle, and this is shown hereafter, along with suggested costs for the various parts of the font. Once created, the holy water cannot leave the font for more than a turn without losing its efficiency, unless it is placed within specially blessed vials of crystal, either rock or special leaded glass. Each empty vial is worth 2 to 5 gold pieces. Hence the reason why holy water is so expensive. In Elfwine, it specifically states in the module that the Church of St. Cuthbert is the only place where you can get holy water, except for the provisioner shop. I forget exactly what it's called, and even then it's not really real water. He's like tricking you, and so everybody kind of knows. It's like, haha, you're a shyster, but we don't have tar to feather you with. So we'll be collecting their gold receptacle, which will give them 32 vial capacity, 19 to 22,000 gold pieces, but it's the weight that I'm wondering about. So I think what we ought to do is just call it like the cost here. Let's roll a 4-sider. Three. So it's a 21,000 gold piece receptacle. Okay. And that would make it 210 pounds. And I think that makes sense. So this big old golden receptacle weighs 210 pounds. That's what we're after. Now, the party is already pretty well encumbered. I'll go into that in more detail if I remember here in a minute. while we're sitting on the bench seating discussing our trip. Hopefully they'll have a cart or something for us. I'm sure we can source animals if we have money, but right now I don't think anybody has money. So, So while we're sitting here, time comes to roll to see if any changes are coming to the clientele. We're discussing the details and making decisions as to whether we're ready to go or not. Always listening to the rain. There's windows here, so we hear the storm going on. It's beating outside. Nasty, wet, cold. It is still the 4th of Coldeven, spring, year 576, Godsday today. So there was lots of praying going on earlier, and we were actually surprised, the two clerics, Aetbert and Willam, that they're even in the inn, sitting there, raising their hands, ordering a beer while we're waiting to discuss things and get it over with. Adventure ahead. It's exciting, but scary at the same time. 3 inches of rain today, but we still have quite a few actions before we need to rest. So one of the things that Asher Wildwood, the ranger, brings up, he's like, well, that's a long way. At least there's the river to follow, and it's patrolled. We're lucky it's not off into the wilderness, to Greencastle. What the heck over here? These being 30-mile hexes, though, 30, 60, just following the river, 30, 60, 90, 120, about 130 miles. 130 miles to Aratar. Probably a little bit more because it's 15 to this one, so, we'll call it 145. Page 58 of the Dungeon Master's Guide. We're kind of at a heavy burden if we go the way we're packed right now. We'd only get 10 miles a day. That seems too small to me. I don't know. Well, we might say average pack then, and just give them a bit more distance. 20 miles a day. I think that's reasonable. Because they all, well, maybe not. I'm gonna have to look into that a little more. We could try to get mounts. I don't know how much. I mean, we don't have food and everything. I don't think so. I think we're supposed to walk. Maybe they'll give us a cart on the other end. Hopefully. Because that thing's 120 pounds. No, 210 pounds. Yes, it's 210 pounds. So it's going to take, let's say it is an average of 10. We'll call ourselves, I think we're more average. 20. So you know, it might be better to try and take canoes. Because you know, it's gonna take 2 days to get to the other end of here. Basically where we could start to see this turn. Another 2 days to get to this point where we're thinking we're in the stretch here. And then another 2 days to finish out. So 3 2-day segments. 6 days. And then of course 6 days back unless there's cart mule or something, and we could put the basin in as well as some equipment and such. Maybe try to go lighter, get our encumbrance down so we're at a 9. Everybody would be in a 9. We have 2 players at a 6 movement. Heavy. So, I think that's the way to think about this in my mind. So we discuss it as these 3 2-day jaunts. The landmarks. Asher Wildwood volunteers that he's traveled to Aratar before, stealthily as he could, not doing anything, just going and running back kind of thing. The Ranger way. Jorbis Bicklemole has been before. He's got that gnomish humor about him, and he's you know, he's like, oh yeah, no problem. We'll get there and back, no problem. You can't really tell with him. So we get another round. After the first, who was it that had money? Gosh, Randall has money. He's, after his first, he's the young 17-year-old pup. He's willing to pay for things in case people don't have money. So after drinking and eating a bit, discussing things, deciding on this method of action and what course to take, it becomes evening, and the patrons coming in and out and travelers out of the rain doubles. Four die 4 plus times 2. So 3, 5, 12. 12 times 2 is 24. So there's 24 people in the common room now. Also, maybe I will roll this black die. So the black die is high. 83, no. 45, okay. So this guy comes down with a robe and a hat, and we've seen him around before. Don't have a name. But he's hanging out now. We're at this set of tables, and he's sitting over here, this little foretop. We've seen each other. He's seen us. We've seen him. But there's lots of other people in the round too. Okay, and a pair comes down the staircase here. A guy we've seen around town, seen him practicing and things. We know he's a fighter. And Randall has met him before. His name is Cobort, and he's got an associate. He's a monk, but I was trying to think of the way the guy acts. He's of a different type of religious faith than those of us who are St. Cuthbert followers, and the way we pray and what we do is very different from him. And he definitely has an accent and looks different from the people around here. He stands out as a foreigner. Toruko is his name. So after the afternoon turns to evening and another round of food is brought, we settle in on a path to tomorrow. And I think everyone is in agreement that they're virtually ready to go with just saying bye to the family. And Jorbis is going to stay here at the inn tonight in the common space. Up in here. 10. Everyone else will go home and then meet back at the Cock and Cudgel if it's not raining. If the storm continues, then everyone will just stay home and be with their families. I think everybody knows it's dangerous. And that's when the robed figure at the table over here comes and leans against this wooden post, introduces himself and says, "I'm Spagnor. Did I overhear you saying you would go to Aratar?" And Aetbert, being the one who's the actor, you might say, in the party, the one who does things, he perks up and says, "Aye, that's where we're headed. Do you know the place?" And he says, "Not really, friend, but I might join you if you wish." And I'm sure Aetbert looks around, says, "Well, what do you know of the place? What do you know of the road?" And this will be a time, I think, that I can try out the rumors table. Now, this guy is one who's staying. He's a magic user who's staying in the inn. He's in room 5. He stays in this private room right now. Svaldi knows him to be a magic user. Okay, so first off, we'll roll for how many rumors might exist. Village or smaller is what we're rolling on, so 0 to 2. 1d4 minus 2. 2. Awesome. Alright, so now that's the rumors in the whole town today. There's 2 possible rumors. We're talking to this one guy. And in this conversation that we, the party, and Svaldi jumps in, since he knows this guy to be a magic user, you know, and he tries to talk magic with him, you might say, right? I don't know what his charisma is, but we're not really trying to do anything too much to get him to join. He already will. I'm thinking more trying to get a rumor out of him. So it'll be Svaldi Mundai who we'll say is the one doing this reaction roll for the rumor that we're trying to get. Okay? Hope this is making sense. So we do a percentile check, because this is just the reaction table out of the Dungeon Master's Guide. I just changed what the verbiage was. Alright. 10. He's like, I'm not telling you anything. Who do you think you are? And he looks like he's insulted and insulting Spaldy back, like he's trying to get information about his spells and stuff. He's worried he's gonna, he's trying to get spells off of him like a moocher or something. But he insults Spaldy back. He's like, who do you think you are? I'm not. You mind your own business. And that's it. We can't ask him again for this day. We have to wait. Can't ask again until at least one day later. So tomorrow we could ask him. Well, there is another rumor here in town. Is there anybody else we could think of? I mean, if we were at the gates or something, I'd say let's talk to the guards and see what traffic, what do they know about what has been going on the roads. There's probably some that are not just sentries, but go on patrol and things. So, but right now with the thunderstorm going on outside, I don't care to go walk down there and talk to him standing in the rain. So this is it. However, there are other people in here. Hey, there's an idea. There's still one rumor possible, and Cobort and Toroku are down here, and I said Randall Windsor, he knows about Cobort, and they've talked before as fighters. So I'm gonna have Randall go engage Cobort in a conversation about the road to, dang, why can't I remember the name of that place we're going? I can never get it. Aratar. Okay. Maybe I'll just try to leave that up like that. Alright, so that worked for us. And the next thing that we would do is roll again, because he's going to try and talk to Cobort. Hopefully it's a better roll. 41. Well, Cobort's kind of grumpy. He's like, look here. I'm not here to answer your questions. Travel the road for yourself and find out. Looks hungry. He's hangry. And so we can make a successful charisma check, or we have to wait again. Wait on him. Same thing. Wait till the next day. So let's see if we can make a charisma check. With Randall, it's not so good. He's 12. $14. We did it. Okay, so right? I forget now. Actually, no, you want to roll under, because if your ability was better, it should be easier. So, no, it was a failure. So, no, that's it then. Because we failed the charisma check to bring it full circle here, then we have to wait at least one day before we can roll again. So, he's grumpy, doesn't want to talk to us, he's not going to do it. And that was it for the 2 rumors that were here. Okay, so with that done, I don't believe that there's anything else really that we can do right now other than, go investigate things. I think we know what we need to do. We're already packed. We're fresh characters, so there's nothing to buy. We can't get any more rumors. And it turns out that the reactions with these NPCs didn't extend to anything more. So it starts to get late. The rain is still pounding, and the firelight starts to be the dominant light in the room. People are going to bed. Sadly, it's time to walk in the rain for the rest of the party. Jorbis gives a big grin, gives a little chuckle. He's a gnome, right? Amongst these humans. He's, jokingly waves as they're leaving, on the way out the door. Yep, have a good night. See you in the morning. So the rest of the party heads out. And we said that you can see virtually everything here. Yeah, that's everything. The church is here, and the inn of the Cock and Cudgel is here. The blacksmith is where Aetbert lives. Yep. Aetbert lives at the smithy, 8. So he's just leaving and trotting across the street there. Willam Pembroke, the other cleric, is at the Teamsters, 14, up here. So he has to run up the street, run across the ford, run down the rest of the street to get home. He's going to be soaked. But he has the burning desire of the cudgel of St. Cuthbert in his heart, and he's ready to go. And he sees this as an exciting opportunity to help the church in his floppy hat, because he's a member of the chapeau. I don't know if we probably haven't talked about that. That's part of the Church of St. Cuthbert as well. I didn't mention that Svaldi Mundai, his master is Bernay, the mage in the tower. I think the fighters will eventually go to the fighter that's here too, but Bernay is the magic user in that tower, and will be the one to train. He's been training Sveldy and Die. The two, Randall and Asher, run the road home. And I think that's everybody. Oh no, Sveldy. Sveldy walks along through the rain. He looks probably the most normal right now, walking through these sheets of rain to the house than he normally does, because the rain is kind of taking his mind off of the anxieties of life. So he just looks like a guy walking in the rain with a pointy hat. His robe sticking to him, because you know how water makes clothes stick to you. So he's really tall and really skinny. Water sticking to him, his long stringy hair. He's got long hair and it's black and it's stringy. So he's walking home, and he lives at Farm 4. Where's that? He hates farms. It's that big one. Oh, right here. So he walked part of the way with the two fighters. Yep, see ya. Good night. And everybody heads home, or gets into bed, or does what they do, thinking about the adventure to come, but listening to the storm outside, knowing that it's really the thing that's preventing this from moving forward. There's certainly a bunch of anxiety. Not, really there's only 2 people in the party who've ever gone to this place. It's 6 days away. People get killed out there on the roads and byways. And so, friends, the next day happens. And like I said, there's a method to this madness. So, document time and date, we're on the 5th. And it's morning again. After Godsday, Waterday. It's Waterday the 5th. Not sure what Waterday is for. Maybe you get water. We need to roll for the weather. Eating and everything, not a problem, because we're at home and we're getting fed by the family or on the farm or whatever. I'm not even going to be concerned about that. And same with water, same with spells. It's just like at this point, what spells we want to take with us is open game. so we start back here. Let's see what the highs and lows are. A die 8 plus 4. 10. And die 10 plus 4. 6. So that means it's 52 will be the high, and the low is -6, so 36. And we need to find out if there was a continuation. Is there more rain? We want this to be done. Thunderstorms, 15% chance. Good. Not very likely. Just 15% chance. Oh, and we do. Damn it. Alright. So, it's a continued. It's another, let's see. Well, actually, before we roll that, what you do is you roll this 1 die 10, and this says whether it changes by a little bit. 2. So no change. Roll for duration, continue. Okay. There we go. Tropical storm. Let's see, it's another die 6. It was 3 inches yesterday. 5 inches. Okay. 5 inches of rain, and let's see. Another half die 6 days. 1 again. Whew. Thank you. Okay, boys. Maybe it'll be tomorrow, but it's not destined to happen right now. We're just sweating it out in our beds, thinking about the adventure ahead, and we're probably all gonna die. Jorbis Bicklemole has color spray ready. No, he doesn't. I'm changing that. He has Wall of Fog. I think that might be better for outdoor. Put some visibility issues between us and the enemy if there's a number of them. That kind of situation. If we need to escape, help us get lost in the terrain a little bit, give us an advantage on escape. Might come in more handy than just a single color spray. We'd have to get in pretty close and make sure nobody else was around. None of the party, at least. Versus backstab, where I'll be in tight trying to hide and things. Aetbert, Cuthbert, he is going to have create water and 2 cure light wounds. Okay. Willam Pembroke. Willam Pembroke. He has 3 as well. So he should probably take command. He's going to take a command. He's going to take a command, a cure light wounds. No, command and 2 cure light wounds. Maybe 2 commands. 2 commands and 1 cure light wound? No, we better have the healing. Command and 2 cure light wounds. Okay. Svaldi Mundai is going to have Charm Person. He's memorizing his Charm Person. And he doesn't need a spell component for Charm Person, which is nice, where a lot of other things do. Command doesn't either. Of the first level cleric spells, the only ones that require a spell component is Create Water, and it's just a drop of water. We'll have that. Bless requires Holy Water. We only have one in the party, and it's really expensive. So I don't want to use that. So we're not going to have a Bless right now. Detect Evil requires a Holy Symbol, and I'm making the, I guess you'd maybe call it a house rule, that where a lot of people, purists, would say all of the spell components, unless otherwise stated, are used up when you cast a spell. I'm going to say that in the divinity side of thing, it's not really called divinity, but on the, that's later editions. On the cleric side, because they are basically channeling their power, I'm ruling that the holy symbol isn't destroyed, and it's the conduit between the cleric possessing it and using it, and the will of that cleric and the deity behind it generating what needs to get done. But you have to have the holy symbol, because they can break, they can get lost, they can be destroyed, they can be stolen, they can maybe even be desecrated. How about that? I know this vessel that we're trying to go get could be desecrated. That was one of the things it says specifically. It could be desecrated, and then it would just be a lump of metal, and we would be in deep desecration. So, protection from evil and good needs incense to draw the circle around you, but that's kind of expensive, and I don't think we need protection from good right now. The magic user could cast it if we needed to. Resist cold we don't need right now, for the most part. I think we're going to be okay in the conditions. It's not really, we're not traveling in the cold yet. And it's spring. And Sanctuary, holy water and a small silver mirror. We have that as we trade goods to start traveling, which will, always happen. Like, the guy who's got the lantern isn't the one who always carries the lantern. I don't think we need any mapping. That's something I need to consider. I don't have any paper, and I haven't said that Spaldy has any paper and ink or anything. Any of the spellcasters that would normally be writing things. And Spaldy is a scribe. Oh no, he's not. He was a farmer and he hates it. That's right. One of the characters' secondary ability, a secondary skill, was that they were scribing, and wherever they came from, it all linked together with who the father was and what farm they came from and everything. Worked out pretty well. I'm really happy with that, how that's coming together to create the storyline easily between just reading the module and seeing who was already at Farmer 2 here, Talked about a young man that was there, and gives a little bit of detail that makes sense to play these different characters as those in this solo game. So I was talking about spell components. Spaldy doesn't need anything because his spell isn't gonna have a material component. Charm Person. Jorbis is going to have Wall of Fog, which is a pinch of split dried peas, and he has a pound on him, way more than he needs, at 48 pinches per ounce. Yep. Another day of tropical storms. Wind and rain, and it's just nasty. and the party is staying home, over-preparing, dwelling on the fact that they're likely to die. I don't know how Spaldy Mundy gets through it. He's already so anxious. But, you know, that's life. Life of the adventurer, especially a first level one. Headed to Aratar, right here, on the way through the forest, where this river runs through, eventually to Taunting, here at this split mouth in the Virgelmere River, east of Eagle Point. And west of the Lightning Peaks. Turning out to be pretty cool, just randomly starting like this. Okay. So friends, that's where I'm going to leave it. Another day of tropical storms has prevented the expedition to retrieve the golden vessel of St. Cuthbert, the holy receptacle of St. Cuthbert. I forget now what it is. It's in the title. So next time we'll be checking the weather again, seeing if things can progress. I'm enjoying it so far with getting the tables and see how it's working, and it's definitely in my head. I got my head wrapped around it. Days shouldn't fly by, but you know, we're gonna get a couple of days on a card, I think. Total of 8 inches of rain between yesterday and today. Whew. Alright, I'm gonna leave it here. Until next time, the weatherman says, I'll see you on another stream. Bye-bye.